Hi, I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness, and in this video we're focusing on balance exercises as part of our active aging series. These exercises are tailored with older adults in mind, but we want to emphasize safety as our top priority. So please ensure that you're near a chair, a wall, or you could even use a tall foam roller if you're more advanced, since it's not as supportive. We are going to start off with bare feet, and we're going to do some release work. So I'd like you to grab a chair, your release ball, and let's get moving. Begin seated forward in your chair, and we have a tiny ball, and we're going to execute self myofascial release on the bottom of our foot. Let's start with the ball underneath your right foot. Our goal is to perform a vertical roll. We're going to be here for 1 minute, so I've just started the clock. We're applying downward pressure on our foot. Focus on getting all aspects of the foot. So you have your most medial side near the toe, the big toe and the second toe. You have the middle of the foot, and then the most lateral aspect where the fourth and pinky toe are located. As we do this exercise, it's helping to loosen and release the fascia. This is the connective tissue surrounding our muscles on the bottom of our foot. And by releasing tension in this fascia, it's really going to help to increase the flexibility and the range of motion of the foot. And this is going to really allow for better adaptability and responsiveness when we're standing, walking, and performing exercises such as balance exercises as we are today. Okay, now just gently move that ball to your left foot, 1 minute on the clock. Again, go from the heel all the way to the toes. This is a vertical roll. And you're applying as much downward pressure as you can tolerate. The feet really play a critical role in providing sensory feedback to the brain, and this is all about the body's position relative to the ground. And by releasing any tightness that we have in our fascia, we're going to enhance the feet's ability to transmit that sensory information to our brain. And this allows for just increased proprioception for body awareness, and it's really critical in maintaining our balance. We have about 10 more seconds. We're focusing on breathing deeply as we perform this release work. Our next exercise, please take the small ball to your right foot again, and we're going to focus on separating our toes. So I have the ball between my big toe and middle toe, my second and third and fourth, and then my fourth and pinky. And then you're just going to keep on moving through, trying to separate your toes. We're going to be here for 30 seconds. One aspect of this exercise is to really try to open up our feet, because when we are doing balance work, you really want to think of your foot as 3 anchors, the tripod. So we have our big toe, our little toe, and the heel of the foot. That forms our tripod. And being able to separate and articulate through your toes can be very helpful to your balance. Now let's go ahead and we'll take the ball over to your left foot now. Let's do the same thing. We're starting with a little practice where you're just moving down, separating toe by toe, 2 toes at a time. And let's go ahead and start that 30 seconds now. You're just moving at your own pace. If you find that you're really struggling with separating your toes, you might find it beneficial to actually purchase toe separators. You can get those anywhere. Think CVS, Walgreens, online, and you could wear those toe separators. Basically, it's the toe separators if you were giving yourself a pedicure. that's what you would put in between your feet as you apply nail polish. And you could put those toe separators on for about 10 minutes a day, and you could really help increase the flexibility. Let's stop right there. At this time, we're going to move the ball, make sure it's safely out of your space, and we're going to stand. This exercise is called a standing foot rock, and it's going to help increase circulation through our foot and ankle complex. Stand behind your chair for balance assistance. We're not starting the balance exercises at this time. I would like you to articulate up and lift your heels, come up real high, and then go ahead and place your heels down and give me the opposite toe lifts. So again, we're going to lift the heels. We're performing a heel raise, and then gently rock back and lift the toes and the balls of the feet. So this movement is going to improve blood flow to the feet, which really helps in reducing stiffness. And improved circulation can certainly enhance overall foot health and function. And this is really beneficial to the balance exercises that we'll be doing later on. Breathe however it feels comfortable to your body. I usually like to focus on exhaling as I'm going into the moves. So as I lift my heels, I'm going to exhale. Inhale when my heels go down, and then I'm exhaling as I lift the balls of my feet or my toes. As we do this exercise, we're also strengthening the calf muscles and the foot and the ankle complex, and then you're strengthening the shins, the front part of the lower leg. Let's perform one more each. At this time, please take a seat with me. We're going to move on to short foot exercise. You're seated forward in your chair, and I want you to think of your foot as 3 points of contact: big toe, pinky toe, and your heel. The goal of this exercise is to shorten your foot and work the arch so it looks like this. We're going to pull in, and do you see that I've just increased the arch of my foot and then slowly go down? So we're pulling up. You're just pressing your toes into the ground to activate the foot's arch and then go back down. And a strong arch is very important because it acts like a shock absorber for the body. And this is reducing stress in the foot and the ankles, the knees and the hips. So it's all the way up the chain. We can hold this position for a few moments, pretend that someone's gonna take a picture, and then slowly return back down. The key to the short foot exercise is to really focus on keeping your toes flat and drawing up through the arch. We don't want our toes to curl or grip under. This is poor form. That is not working the arch as best we can. So really try to keep your feet flat, and please draw up, really working the arch. And this exercise takes time, so if you feel that your foot is gripping, just regroup and start again. Let's do one more on the right foot. Drawing up through the arch, sliding, and release. Moving over to the left foot. Here we go. We're drawing up, pressing the toes into the ground, shortening the foot, working the arch, and then slowly back down. Remember to hold that top position. That's acknowledging that isometric exercise muscle action. If you're having a difficult time with this, please just be patient with yourself and keep revisiting this video. And this movement is really just focusing on enhancing our foot function. So short foot exercise can really help the feet become more adaptable and efficient in our movement, especially when it comes to doing exercises such as balance exercises. Let's do 2 more. Just shortening the foot and lifting through the arch. 1 more. At this time, we're going to take a water break, and if you have a foot injury or if you have a condition that requires additional support, I would invite you to place your shoes on at this time, and then we'll come back for our first balance series. We're going to begin with marching in place. Because our knees are driving up, you want your balance support, whether that be a wall, a foam roller, or a chair, to be near one side, right or left sides. We're going to stand with our feet hip distance apart, and I want you to be very still and stable through your core muscles. The goal of this exercise is to drive your right knee up as high as you can towards your hip height. If you're here, that's okay. And then down, and then alternate. So this is called a march because we're alternating sides. Now, again, your hands may be on support, or you could have your arms out to the side. We're exhaling as we drive our knee up, and we have a small element of balance, and then lower down. Regular movement of the knees and the hips during this exercise can really help improve mobility or maintain mobility in these joints, and this helps decrease stiffness and pain in the knees and the hips. We need a very strong core for this exercise, as I mentioned earlier. So a good image is to imagine that someone is going to punch you in the stomach, and you have to brace your abdomen for that impact. Our shoulders, if you have your arms out like me, make sure that your shoulders are down away from your ears and relaxed. Let's perform 1 more each side. So we're driving the right knee up and down, and now the left. Down. Now grab 1 yoga block. This exercise is single leg balance reach. I would like you to have support near your left hand. We're placing our left foot on the yoga block. My goal for you is to have your heel on the end of the yoga block, and if you have longer feet, it's fine if your toes are hanging off of the yoga block. For this exercise, I need you to be stable and strong through your left glute and hip area. You may take your right arm and internally rotate your arm behind your back. Take your right leg forward, this is the sagittal plane, and then center. Go to the side, directly to the side, this is the frontal plane. And now watch my right foot. I'm externally rotating through my hip here and reaching back. We're calling that, it's the transverse plane because there's rotation. So let's try this again. Take your leg directly forward, sagittal plane. Directly to the side, this is our frontal plane, and then rotate through the hip, and then reach back. Okay, we're now starting the exercise. 1 minute is on the clock. If you are new to this exercise, feel free to stop at the 30-second mark. Otherwise, you can try for 45 or the full minute. The true goal of this exercise is twofold. So first of all, you're actually working the stable leg. The left glute medius is helping stabilize the hips and the knee. We're trying to keep that left leg fairly straight. There's just a little micro bend in the knee. Make sure you're not hyperextending the knee. That would be very stressful to the joint. But we're also working the foot and the ankle complex of the left foot. Also, you're learning about the 3 planes of motion. I had already mentioned those. Whenever we exercise, we should be thinking about all 3 planes of motion. This is the sagittal plane, this is where we're walking. This is the frontal plane, think side stepping or jumping jacks. One more repetition. And this is the transverse plane, anything with rotation. We're now moving to the other side. So let's take our support towards our right hand, and we're stepping our right foot on the yoga block. Our left arm is behind us, out of the way. Let's begin. Take your leg to the front. This is sagittal plane. Now left leg to the side, frontal plane, and then externally rotate and reach slightly behind. That's probably the hardest for most of us. Now let's put 1 minute on the clock. Again, if you're new to this exercise or if you're struggling, please stop at the 30-second mark or 45. Otherwise, do the full minute with me. This is a great time to revisit some of the other exercises that we've already completed. So remember when we did the short foot exercise and we were working on our arch? Focus on maintaining your arch because that's going to help with stability throughout this exercise as we work these 3 planes of motion. And again, remember that the primary goal of this exercise, all of the effort is really stemming from the stabilizing leg. So if you notice that one side feels harder, it's either weakness or an issue with the stable leg. That was 1 minute, excellent job. We're now going to move the yoga block and the chair out of the way, and our next exercise is over the shoulder walks. For this movement, we need a lot of space, and I really want to ensure that you have a safe environment, no tripping hazards in your way, because the goal of this exercise is to challenge our vision. So usually when we balance, we say focus on a stable object, really center yourself. Now we're gonna do the exact opposite of this. We're going to put 1 minute on the clock, and I would like you to take 4 steps forward while you are looking to the right, and then take 4 steps forward as you are looking to the left. 1 minute, ready, and begin. So this is slow walks. You're looking to the right for 4 steps. Center your gaze for a moment, and then look to the left for 4 steps. Continue alternating sides. So since our sight plays a critical role in maintaining balance, changing our gaze from straight ahead to the side really introduces a new challenge for ourselves. This movement really forces our body to adjust and stabilize without the usual visual cues that we have. And done. All right, we're now going to stand directly behind our chair, and our final exercise of this series is rock the boat. We are going to be working the frontal plane. So you're feeling this in the glute medius and the hip stabilizers. Please Lift your right leg. Let's hold on just initially until you feel really confident. Lift your right leg out to the side, and we're still staying upright. And then lower down, and then lift your left leg out to the side. So this movement is called rock the boat, and it's an excellent exercise for avid walkers or joggers, because when you are a walker or a jogger, you're primarily working that sagittal plane and you're really strengthening the quadriceps. But what can happen is it can leave the muscles on the sides of your hips underdeveloped. So this is a wonderful complement as we're hitting those muscles with this exercise. Now let's make this harder. I want you to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch left leg out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can really feel the fine muscles of your foot and ankle complex working here. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's make this 10. Right leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finish with the right leg up. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it's time for a water break, and we're going to return with our final balance series. We're going to begin with toe taps to the yoga blocks. We need 2 yoga blocks. Option 1 is to position the yoga blocks in its lowest setting. Option 2 is to position the yoga blocks in its tallest setting. If you are using support, have that support near one side. Our goal is to ideally look straight forward, and we're going to tap our right foot to the yoga block, followed by the left. We're moving slow and controlled with this move. Focus on engaging your core. So I like to imagine that I'm laughing heartily. So when you laugh, your abdominal muscles are going to automatically contract and tighten. This exercise challenges your ability to maintain stable as you're repeatedly switching from right to left. Focusing on tapping this yoga block really does require precise coordination, because that yoga block is not very stable, so we can't rely on that to help us. We're just using it as a marker and lightly tapping to the yoga block. Alternating your feet really requires your brain to coordinate movements between the left and the right sides of your body, and this can really improve overall motor coordination. Let's do one more each. Excellent. We're now going to move on to single leg step down, and we just need to utilize one yoga block. We're going to keep a chair near one side. Let's place our left foot on top of the yoga block. If you have longer feet, your toes may hang off of the yoga block. Let's anchor the heel. Our right leg will be slightly out in front of us, and please flex your foot. Think toes to the nose. Your goal is to stay fairly upright, and we're going to bend our left knee. If you have good ankle mobility, your right heel may touch the ground. If you're feeling pain, do not go as low. You may be weak through the quadriceps, or you may have stiff ankles. That's called ankle dorsiflexion, the ability of your knee to move towards your toes. And that can improve with time, but take it really easy when you're new to this exercise. This movement is truly simulating the joint angle that we need when we go downstairs. So this is a very applicable exercise that we need to do every single day. We're gonna do 4 more. Notice how you're really feeling the work in the front of your thigh. This is the quadricep muscle. We use this when we extend the knee, when we walk, and even climb stairs or sit down or stand up from chairs. 1 more. Now, you may keep your balance assistance on the same side or move your chair. We now need to place our right foot on the yoga block. Our left leg is out, foot flexed. We're bending the right knee, shooting the knee towards the toes, and then stand. This exercise is also really good for your core and your stabilizing muscles. So I mentioned how you're working the quadricep, but you're also really working the glute medius of the leg that's on top of the yoga block. The glute medius is our second largest butt muscle. It's on the side here, and it really does help stabilize the hips and pelvis. Let's do 4 more. Again, you're going to the depth that you can tolerate. Excellent. We're now clearing our space, and we're going to tackle backwards walking. For this exercise, we're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. And our goal is to walk backwards. You'll want to probably start with smaller steps until you feel confident with this exercise. Ready, 60 seconds is on the clock, and begin. So the goal of this movement is to walk nice and slow, and notice that backwards walking really requires us to use our posterior chain more. So what I mean is, as you walk backwards, you're going to feel more of the work in the back of the thighs, the hamstrings, and the calves. This can also reduce the load that we're placing on our joints. Walking backwards really forces the body to adjust to a less familiar environment. And stop. Excellent. We're going to wrap up today's session with tandem stance. Let's go ahead and have balance support if you need it. It could, again, be on either side. If you want to add rotation to this movement, you're going to need a yoga block. For tandem stance, all it means is we're going to imagine that we're on a balance beam. Place your right heel in front of your left toes. If you are already struggling in this narrow stance, I need you to stay here with just focusing on tandem stance. If you feel fairly confident in this position, I invite you to grab a yoga block, and we're going to add rotation. I'm putting 30 seconds on the clock, and we're rotating to the right with the yoga block. about, 45 degrees. And then center, and then rotate to the left. Tandem stance is challenging because we've taken our normal base of support and we've made it more narrow. And the act of twisting while balancing, it just adds a nice dynamic component to balance. And stop right there. Excellent. Now we're going to place our left heel in front of our right toes. Again, maybe you're sticking with just tandem stance. Otherwise, we'll take the yoga block out in front, 30 seconds on the clock. Let's rotate to the left first, center, and then the right. You might notice that your back foot, your right foot, is really helping drive the stability of this exercise. And stop. Excellent job. And with that, we have finished our balance series for today. I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.